I think the thing that made Bonnie and me really click was that we both had an affinity for the same types of music. And when I first met Bonnie, she was somewhere between, folk and rock and blues. She's very much into blues.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh,
Sippy Wallace, right? Or
well, Sippy
Bentley,
Wallace, but also Fred McDowell
Fred McRae.
and Buddy and Junior and Arthur Crudup and so many people. I mean, I actually watched Bonnie in Dick Waterman's office at the feet of Fred and a couple of other blues people, literally watching them and learning their licks and listening to their vocals. I mean, Bonnie really studied the blues. And if you listen, I mean, uh, I'm not intending to be racist or sexist here, but 99 out of 100 white people uh, do not sing the blues. I mean, they sound like white people singing the blues. And because blues there's certain inflections, it's a certain scale. Obviously there's the emotional factor involved, but musically, there are certain bends, there are certain things that work and certain things that don't.
Right.
Bonnie got it from those people who pretty much invented it, and she copped that and she honored it. She honored it in a lot of ways where she would have these people open for her
Yeah,
later on.
right,
She
exactly.
she always talked about the shoulders of those on whose shoulders she stands that went before her. Between her and I learned a lot of blues. I was into blues to a certain extent, but I learned a certain amount from Bonnie. Meanwhile, we were both into R&B. We both loved all the Motown stuff and Marvin Gaye, and we were making that first record. Marvin Gaye's the early records came out. You know what's going on,
Sure, right
uh,
around, same time, yeah.
and but also she played a couple of Elton John songs. Uh, Joni Mitchell. She, was schooled in folk, and so it turns out that we both were multi-genre. I would say aficionados, but we were both interested in it. We both liked it, and so it was easy for me. Whatever style she would play, I could go to, and I feel really good that I also helped influence her style in the beginning, showing her certain things. Like most bass players, if it's a C chord, they'll play a C and play the root, and maybe the second choice is the fifth, the
Right.
G. I go to the third a lot of times
Hmm.
because that really just is most bass players don't. I don't know why, but it's like a really cool place to go, and it's going to lead you somewhere else. It just
Right.
just has a whole different feel to it. So there's certain things like Angel from Montgomery that I feel uh, really proud of, that I have a large part of that arrangement that found its way
Hmm.
onto the record, and a lot of people play that
Yeah.
right, bom bom. I'm playing the third and the bass of the four chord, and so I think the bottom line is that both had uh, we both had a love for many different kinds of music.
Hmm.
We played them together for the first 3 years. We were a duo. So we would
Okay.
figure what you hear in the record pretty much are extensions of what the two of us came up with,
Hmm.
as a duo, and then took it into the studio and added drums and various instruments with different producers. But I'm not trying to blow my own horn, but I'm very proud of
Yeah.
of my effect, as a bass player, but also how I affected her and how I helped affect some of those arrangements and work with the drummer and work with different people, learn from them,
Yeah.
and go with them, but also have them go with me.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure
it
her
was.
dad too gave her an appreciation of certain styles of music that, he was a part of, don't you think?
Oh yeah, well, all of the legit stuff, and she
Yeah.
can sing that stuff. She chose not to. I think that's why she was so attracted to the blues, because it was so different from the
Right.
straight type of music that John did. I mean, John Raitt was probably the best, in my opinion, in many people's opinion, of the Broadway singers. Had an incredible instrument, his voice, phenomenal, and that's the gift that genetically he gave to Bonnie was the instrument, and then what she chose to do with it is to go in some different directions. But you hear her as she really sophisticated her singing style, she incorporated more and more of the John Raitt thing. She got always having, the first time I heard her sing, I heard that vibrato, just that perfect vibrato, not too fast like Joan Baez, like
Joan Baez, I was going to say.
yeah, and not too just the right amount of and just in the right places and control and beautiful pitch, but all that bluesy, soulful stuff that she put in, and then of course how nobody, in my opinion, can take a lyric and really express the emotion of that lyric melodically, and from the body like Bonnie can. She tear your heart out with it. So it's not just about singing the melody, it's about evoking the emotion, of the lyric and combining it with that. And then you throw in the soulfulness of blues and rhythm and blues, and you got classic Bonnie Raitt.